All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. We're at the top of the hour, and my name is Tonya. This is a Comeback Yoga All Levels class. Comeback Yoga is a nonprofit organization that serves veterans, active duty military, and support along the Front Range of Colorado, Denver, Colorado Springs, surrounding areas, and Fort Collins. We are online as well, 24 hours a day. So if you're not in the Colorado area, you can certainly catch us online anytime you want, wherever you are in the world. And I'm so grateful to have you here. This 45-minute class is for all levels. So you can make it more challenging for yourself, or you can back off a little bit. I'll show some variations of different postures that you might find more accessible. The session will start in just a couple of minutes, and we will be doing a little bit of warm up, some standing poses, and then back down to the ground for some deep stretching, and then a final relaxation meditation. So you'll need to have an exercise mat or a yoga mat. And if you have a blanket or a towel, a bath towel, we'll be using that today. If you don't have either one of those, maybe a pillow. If you don't have anything, that's fine too. If you're traveling or something and you just don't have those kinds of things, that's fine. Just an opportunity to have a little bit extra support for our practice today using the blanket, towel, or a pillow. All right. Unless you have any questions or comments or concerns that you could type in the chat, we'll go ahead and get started. Remember, throughout the practice, just do what you can, providing that you monitor your breath so that as you are in a posture or moving in and out of a posture, that your breath is your guide and it becomes the object of your attention as you're moving in and out of poses, holding poses, so that you are monitoring pain as well, because our breath can really help to regulate the pain, regulate any sensations we have, and we can use the breath. So we'll be cueing the breath today to help get you in and out of things a little bit more smoothly, as well as regulating and monitoring that pain or discomfort. And finding more ease in the postures is the ultimate end goal of yoga, is that we find that balance between the amount of effort we're putting in and the amount of strain versus the amount of ease and comfort that we're experiencing in the posture. So exploring these opposites is really a part of the yoga practice. So let's get started. So you could be sitting on that blanket, you could be sitting on a cushion, pillow, or even on a chair for starters today. And just kind of roll the shoulders up, down, and back a couple of times. And then finding a place of stillness where you could sit up tall, where it's almost like you would be using kind of the back of the chair or the wall as a guide, but not leaning back into it, not slumping. You're feeling the length of your spine and thinking about extension. So extension from your seat to the top of your head with your chin slightly dropping down. So there's just a neutral space between your chin and your chest, and the shoulders relaxed down and back without forcing them, just sitting in a relaxed position. If you would prefer to be standing, you could do so as well. So we'll just monitor the flow of our breath. If your sinuses are clear and allowing nasal breathing is a preferred method to encourage a slower inhalation and exhalation, to encourage warming, filtering, and to encourage that smoother, softer, regular breath that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest, that kind of helps bring us down from a state of fight or flight. We need both systems. One, of course, to move. But sometimes if depending on our life's experience and what we've been through, we may be always in that heightened state of fight and flight, fight or flight, or freeze, or fawn. Um, so with this practice, we look for a balance. So just sensing that flow of breath in and out. And over the next couple of breaths, we work with this breathing practice now. Think about your breath becoming wider. So you can even have your hands on your rib cage as we breathe in. Feel the breath moving into the lower ribs and out. Breathing in, really getting into the lower lungs and out. You could even bring your hands to your back, the lower rib cage, and as you breathe in, feeling the breath in the back ribs and breathing out. So drawing that breath in and down and letting it out as fully and completely as possible without strain. Inhaling down and in, feeling the 3 dimensions of your breath, and exhaling up and out. You can release your hands. And now over the next 3 breaths, see if you can breathe in and down, feeling the upper, middle, and the lower rib cage. And up and out. Two more times. One more. Great. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and lift your gaze. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhaling, bringing the elbows into your sides and palms forward and then down. Inhaling, bringing your arms up. Now turn your palms away from you and draw your hands in, actually your palms towards you. Inhale, bring your arms up, palms facing the camera away from you. Exhaling, palms up and draw those elbows in. Let's do 3 more times. Inhale, arms going up as high as comfortable. Exhaling, draw those elbows in. Inhaling, maybe your arms going wider for a little bit more ease on the shoulders. And exhaling, elbows draw in. One more. Inhale, reaching. And exhaling, drawing in. Good. And now bring your hands across your chest and grabbing opposite shoulders, maybe elbows or just your sides, whatever is accessible and comfortable. With your next inhale, sit up a little taller. And then on your exhale, sort of tuck in and down, tuck your chin and round slightly forward. Bring your torso around to the other side and open up. And then move to the side. So we're going to go in one direction 3 more times. Tucking in and down and opening up. Exhaling down. And just sort of feeling your spine moving in the range that is accessible. Regulating your breath. So it's a smooth breath that allows tracking sensation throughout. Again, if it's possible to be breathing in through your nose, it's going to help to regulate. All right, let's switch directions now. And in fact, let's change the cross of the arms. Here we go. All right, so think about the rib cage kind of tucking in and down and narrowing, and then rotating to the side, feeling that side waist open, and going to the other side. You can add some head movement if that feels okay for your neck. And last one. And then coming through the middle and releasing your arms down to your sides. Just let your chin drop slightly towards your chest. And then lifting your gaze and bring your hands to your shoulders. Inhale, sit up tall, and exhale, side bend to one side, lifting the opposite elbow up. And as you lift the opposite elbow up, press down into the same hip, kind of in your bottom. And then inhale, get nice and tall, extend. And then exhale over to the other side, reaching that top elbow up, keeping your hands on your shoulders. And come back and other side. Just regulating your breath. You might be moving slower or faster than me. Good. One more time. And then come through center. And let's twist to the right or towards the big window there. Back to center and then twisting towards the plants. And back to the window. And to the plants. And to the window. And to the plants. Good. And that's the last one. Come back through center. Bring your hands maybe to the back of your head. And then round your spine 3 times. Coming up. And for 2, elbows forward, rounding. Back up one more time. And coming forward. Good. And then release. Take just a moment to feel the energizing effects of not only the breath work, but also getting some movement in your body. So whether you're just waking up or whether you've been moving all day, maybe you've been sitting, whatever, just whatever's been going on. Now we're really starting to activate our energy. All right, we're going to come down onto, we'll come into tabletop position. So you can use that blanket or towel if you like to pad the knees. I'm going to send one leg straight back once you're on your legs, on your knees, and then come down onto your forearms. So clasping your hands, that leg is back. Now keep some pressure down into the forearms and kind of rock forward and back on those toes. And then bring that knee back underneath you and send the other leg straight. Just a little forward and back. And then come back to the middle. Take your knees out wide and keep your hands clasped. Bring your hips back towards your heels. Now from this position, your hands can come behind your head. You can maybe unlace the hands and place the hands in the small of the back if that's available. And release. We'll come back up to a tabletop position and take one leg out to the side and then come to stand up on your knee. Take a side bend over that straight leg, extending, and then come back up to center. And bring your hands back down under your shoulders and take that leg back. This time, take it around to the outside of your bent knee and then look over your shoulder towards that foot. And then come back to center, knees down, come back down onto the forearms. Clasp your hands and just let your head come between those elbows, moving it forward and back. All right. And come up to the hands again and take your other leg out to the side. And then come to stand up on your knee. Open your arms out and side bend over that straight leg. And come back up and hands back down to the ground. Take that leg behind and then to the outside, looking over your shoulder towards that foot or to the foot. And come back to center, taking those knees out wide. We'll come down onto the forearms again. Clasp your hands, nod your head forward and back. And then if you like, take your hips back onto or towards your heels and bend your elbows. And release. Walk those hands back to the knees and tuck your toes under. I'm going to take your blanket or your towel now, and we're going to place it behind the knees, so kind of resting it on the calves there. And we'll come into a little squat, kind of rocking forward and back. You use your fingers, kind of rock forward and back, just to help to open up the bottoms of the feet. Our feet are basically pathways to the rest of our body. So if we have good, healthy feet, um, it can really impact the rest of the organs. Good. Now from here, let's come maybe down onto the heels. If that's not quite possible, then you can keep using your hands. Maybe come all the way down, coming into a little squat. So kind of like our child's pose, right? All right. And let's come into a forward fold. Just let that blanket drop behind your heels for a moment. And your legs might go straight or they might be bent. And again, just kind of nod your head forward and back if that feels okay. And maybe even some side to side movement. And then walk your self back so that the front of your foot comes on your blanket or towel. So again, kind of elongating the calves here, the back of the leg, and even the bottoms of the feet. So you can have your elbows on resting on your knees and still get the same effects here, especially if you tend to get dizzy with your head below your heart. Good. All right. Bend your knees, hands to your thighs, and come up to standing. You can come off of your blanket or your towel and come forward just to have those feet about hip distance. And we'll start to lift up on the toes and back down, up on the toes and down. Do this a couple more times. And then the next time, bring your arms up. Maybe stay up on those toes. And then lower your arms down, bringing your elbows into your sides. And again, lift up on the toes, arms lift, and lower down, arms to your sides. 2 more times. Good. And then release your arms down. All right, we'll turn to face the long edge of our mat and step the feet out wide and their feet parallel for starters and arms coming out about shoulder height. Turn your right toes out, so toes towards the big wall here, or window, coming into triangle pose. So reach your hand towards the window and get really long on the underside. Press down into the feet and then let your arm just come down. Maybe it's onto your thigh, maybe you're sliding it down towards the shin, or maybe even further down. Take your top arm up, reach up. As you press down into those feet, really feel how stable that feeling is when you press down into the feet. Good. Let's bend the knee, come into warrior two, opening up your arms. Lower your arms, keeping your right toes, these toes turned out slightly, turn your other toes out. So now we're kind of in a wide squat. Hands onto the legs. As you lower down, kind of push down into your hands as you bring those hips down. And then we're going to just start to move a little side to side. You might lift up the toes if you like, coming onto the heel. Just gliding back and forth a couple more times, pushing into those feet. And then come to center, bring your hands to your heart. Palms pressing together. And you might come a little bit deeper into those hips, into those legs. Push down into the feet and feel your legs fire up. Great. And then let's come out of that. Big inhale, stretch your arms up overhead and open your arms coming into a 5-pointed star. Big breath in. Take up as much space as you like, feeling the extremities of your body, fingertips, toes. Good. And then release your arms down. All right, this foot over here comes parallel to the short edge of your mat, your toes forward. The other toes, just turn them out a little bit more so that they're facing that short edge of your mat. Take your arms out, push down into the legs, reach towards the plant, and then take your hand down to maybe your leg, somewhere on your leg. If you wanted to use a prop, you could, like a block or chair. And then reach out through both arms, feet, sensing the extremities of your body. And then tracking your knee towards your toes, come into warrior two. That's it. Maybe look past your fingers, looking at the plants. All right, release the arms, straighten out those legs, and then again, we'll turn the heels in and toes out. Engage the muscles of your legs. So really feel the strength. We'll bring the arms out and up and come down into kind of more of a squat and bring the hands to the heart. Press those palms together. Start to feel some strength coming across the chest. And then just move a little bit, push down into your feet. Might have to go a little bit wider so that the knees, this kind of stays a little bit more over the ankle, going side to side. And then come back through center. We'll open up the arms, straighten out the legs for that 5-pointed star. Feel the extremities of your body. Feel the strength. Good. And then releasing your arms down. Turn your toes forward. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a little bend in the knees and start to hinge forward, coming down forward, maybe bringing the hands down to the ground now or keeping your hands on your legs. Just find that extension in your spine. So from the very end of your spine and opposite ends, reach long. Your head moving towards the floor, your hips moving towards the ceiling. Taking your hands down to the ground now. Bring your knees under the hips. And I'll turn to the side so you can see we're going to lift the heels again and take your towel or blanket and we're going to place it again on the calves and sit back as far as you can. You might have to have your legs a little bit wider. Bringing those hips back on towards the heels. Hold this for 3 breaths. 3 more breaths. Good. And then coming back up on to stand on your knees and take your blanket, if you like, underneath your knees. And take one leg forward, so it doesn't matter which one. And have kind of a 90-90 position on the legs. Your back arm, bring it up overhead, and then reach for the front knee. So you can stay here if you want. You can also come down here if you want. You could also lift up the back knee. So those are your options, some variations there. If you want to just stay with me though, you can bring the opposite arm back. So kind of a little pressure hand and knee for one more breath. All right, and then come back through the center. Bring that knee back behind you and switch sides. So bringing that back hand across and keeping that little bit of resistance, your hand, elbow, or forearm resting against your knee or outside of the knee to reach to the back. All right, and then come back through center. Stack those knees under the hips for what we call camel pose. So you can have your heels lifted, and if you are using that towel or blanket, you want to have more or less your whole shin. You could also have your toes pointing back, but resting, having a little padding under those knees is helpful. All right, so bringing the hands either to the hips or to the small of your back, like so. And we'll take the shoulders up towards the ears and then roll them back. So now you have a little bit of energy. You feel the shoulder blades kind of squeezing towards one another. And this might be just right. Think about then activating your glutes and start to lift your chest. Don't lift your head, but lift your chest up. You can kind of keep the chin slightly tucked. And then continue to start to lift your chest up as you maybe start to lean back a little bit, not too much. Just again, tracking sensation in this position we call camel. All right, and then tuck your chin and let's come down, come into child's pose. So your knees go wide and send the hips back and forehead down to the ground. Also rest your head on the back of your hands if that's better, or even on that blanket. Take 3 more breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. One more. Good. And start to bring yourself up now, shifting your weight. And we will come onto our back. You could use that blanket or towel underneath your back or under your head. I think I'll put it under my head for today. And bring one knee into your chest. And straighten that leg towards the ceiling, holding on maybe to the back of your hamstrings, calf, your foot or ankle. Option is to have your other leg down on the floor. We can rotate their ankle one direction and then the other. Now take that leg, bend your knees slightly, and bring your leg across your torso, coming into a twist. And come back through center. Bring that knee back into your chest. And if your bottom leg was straight, bend it and take your ankle onto your knee for figure four. You can stay here or draw your knees in towards your chest. And lower down, both feet down. Allow your knees to rest against one another. And just sense the difference in that side before we move to the other side and complete our practice. All right, bringing the feet back to hip distance. Draw your other leg into your chest and hold maybe onto the back of the knee, sort of, or the front of your chin. And straighten your leg now towards the ceiling. And maybe your other leg goes down to the floor. And bend that knee, take it across your torso a little or a lot. You might even want to roll all the way on to that hip if that feels okay for your back. And back to center, bringing your knee back into your chest and bend your bottom leg. Taking the ankle to the knee for figure 4. And taking both feet down to the floor, allowing your knees to fall together. And then bring your arms across your chest to grab the shoulders or the elbows. And turn your head to one side slowly. Come back to center. Turn your head to the other side. And come back to center. Change the cross of your elbows. And let's do the head turn again. So turn to one side. You might even press down slightly into the chest. And bring your head back to center. And press down. Turn your head. And back through center. And release. Taking your arms out to any position that's comfortable. And we have arrived now at our final relaxation meditation. So get yourself comfortable. If there's any other movement that you need to get out of your system, you can go ahead and take a moment to do that. Otherwise, you might find that being on your side is more comfortable. You might also find that being on your stomach is more comfortable, or even sitting up or standing as I guide you into the meditation practice today, which will include a body scan. So, finding that position now that's comfortable, that you could sustain for about 8 minutes. Once you arrive, if you need to make an audible sigh through the mouth, and as you do so, literally feel any tension dropping away, allowing your breath to be a guide, to be a resource for ease, comfort, peace, whatever it is that you might be feeling or might allow in. Sensing the breath coming in now through your nose, sensing the area around your face, your lips, your eyes. And just by simply noticing, you might even feel that there's some tension that naturally comes in and releases. Sensing your jaw, the upper and lower, the roof of your mouth, the inside of your mouth, and your tongue. Sensing your ears, the space in your ears, the back of your head, the top of your head, the sides of your head, your throat, your shoulders, your right shoulder, your right arm, your right hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, fourth finger, and little finger. Sensing your whole right hand, right arm, right shoulder. Sensing your torso and your body breathe. Sensing your left shoulder, left arm, left hand, left thumb, index, middle, fourth, and little. Sensing your whole left hand, left arm, left shoulder. Sensing both shoulders, both arms, and your torso. Feel your body breathe. Feeling your hips, your left hip, your right hip, your right leg, your right foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Sensing your whole right foot, right leg, and right hip. Sensing your torso and feel your body breathe. Sensing your left hip, left leg, left foot, big toe, second toe, middle toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Sensing your whole left foot, left leg, left hip, and your torso breathe. Feeling both hips, both legs, both feet. And sensing the bottoms of your feet. Breathe in all the way up through the legs, the torso, shoulders, arms, head, neck. And exhaling back down. Feeling the wholeness of your body from within. Feeling the completeness. Feeling the whole of your being, which includes body, mind, spirit, breath, as an integrated unit, complete and contained, yet spacious, aware, being everywhere and yet right here. Sensing the stability, the solidity, the wholeness, and yet sense the spaciousness, openness, sensing the clarity, and yet sensing the stability. and sense where you can reside for a few more moments in silence in maybe both of these places, all of these places simultaneously. And begin now to bring your attention back to my voice, back to any sounds in your immediate surroundings. Sense the surface beneath you, maybe even noticing the texture of it, the temperature of it, the density of it, and how it's supporting you and how your body is resting on it. And then begin to find maybe some movements, little movements, big movements. Taking a full body stretch, reaching fingertips to toe tips, and then bring your knees to your chest. If you are lying down, roll to your side. And taking a few moments there to pause. And if you feel ready, press yourself up to sitting if you were sitting or not sitting. And we'll close by joining the hands together in front of the heart for a moment of gratitude as we bow our head to a place of gratitude, of reverence, of respect, not only for our ability to move and breathe today, but to be fully present and to be able to take care of ourselves in more ways than one, having this opportunity to do so. And releasing the hands and lifting the gaze. Thank you for being here. It's been an honor to lead your practice today. I'm here every week, same time, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, or you can catch the replay. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon for upcoming new classes or live sessions. And if you have the means to donate, we'd love to hear from you either way. And take good care. Your feedback is always welcome. So I'll give you a minute or so if you want to leave some feedback, or even just hit the thumbs up and let me know that you got something out of today's session. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Be very well. Take good care of yourself until I see you again. Have a great day.